Hi everyone. This is Sai from Let's Upgrade. So let's talk about how to get your certificate. It's very simple. You will see two links in the description. Number one is the place where you have to go and mark your attendance. Marking your attendance tells us like, okay, you are a legit student who have attended this particular session. Link number two is your assignment. This is where your 90% of the priority is. You have to go and submit the assignment that is given to you in this particular session. Once you're done submitting that assignment, we will be evaluating that. We will send you an email. If you get the passing criteria, then only we will give you the certificate on a particular date that is mentioned again in the description. Please check these three things, and this is the way how you will get a certificate from Let's Upgrade. Number one, mark your attendance. Number two, just go ahead and upload your assignment. Check for the email that you have received it, yes or no. What is the feedback that you have received from your trainer? Number three, check on which date the certificates will be released. Thank you. Bye. All the best. Happy learning.
Hello friends, myself Suraj Sani, and today I am going to teach build powerful APIs and launch them to the cloud. And today is the day one. So today we will build the core APIs. Okay, so building the core APIs, I am considering the example of library management system. So today we will build the APIs related to library management system. So without wasting any time, let's start the today video. Okay, first of all, create a folder. Okay, create one new folder with name library manager API, library manager APIs. Okay, library manager APIs, and simply open that folder with Visual Studio Code. Open that folder with Visual Studio Code. Okay, simply. First of all, we need to set up the backend. Okay, so to set up the backend in your system, Node.js is required. Okay, if in your system Node.js is not installed, so go to the browser and simply type Node.js download. Okay, Node.js download and go to this link and simply download the Node.js in your system and install it. Okay, okay. After downloading and installing the Node.js, your system is now ready to set up the backend. Okay, so first of all, open the command prompt. First of all, open the command prompt. Okay, and we need to run some commands. Okay, to set up the backend. First of all, we will run npm init hyphen y. Okay, when we will run this command, let's see what will be created here. Okay, npm init hyphen y, execute it. When this command executed, package.json file is created. Okay, now run next command npm install. npm install. When npm install is executed, you can see package log.json file is created. Now I am going to install one library, npm install express. Install this library, npm install express. Okay, when this command will be executed, we can see node modules folder is created. We will install one more library, npm install.env. Okay, npm install.env. Okay, now go to the Visual Studio Code. Just cut it. Okay, okay. So we have two files and one folder. Package.json file, package-log.json file, node modules folder. Okay, open this file, package.json file. In this file we can see the basic information about the project. Okay, and we can see here dependencies as well. In package-log.json file we can see the detailed information. Okay, detailed information. In node modules folder there is the library, all libraries installed which are required to run this project. Okay, so in package.json file, what is present? In package.json file, all things are mentioned, that is like which dependencies are required to run this project. And in package-log.json file, the detailed information of the dependencies is present. And the dependency is actually installed in node modules folder. Okay, what is dependencies? Means libraries, the libraries which are required to run this project. Okay, means suppose I'm considering one example, like we have to make a tea. Okay, we want to make a tea, so I written here tea. I want to make a tea. So to make a tea, we required some things. We required some ingredients, like we required sugar, we required water, we required other ingredients as well. So the ingredients which are required to make a tea, it is present in packagelog.json file, and our actual tea is present in node modules folder. Means in package.json, it is mentioned the summary part of all dependencies which are required to run this project, and the detailed information of the dependencies, it is mentioned in package.json file, and the dependencies are installed in node modules folder. Okay, very simple. In package.json file, summary of dependencies. In package.json file, the detailed information of dependencies. Okay, and the actual dependencies or libraries are installed in node modules folder. Okay, so simply first of all create a one file server.js. Okay, create one file server.js, and in server.js we will write our code. First of all, write const express equal to require express. Const express equal to require express. Okay, then write const app equal to express. Okay, then we will create one basic API. Okay, before creating any API, first I will run our server. Then you have to write app.listen. Here you have to write port number, on which port number your project will be run. Okay, and here will be one callback function that will execute automatically when server is started. Okay, it will be arrow function. Okay, in this function write console.log server is running on port 4000. Okay, server is running on port 4000, and we will keep this port number in env file. Okay, so create one env file, and in actually .env. Okay, that file name will be .env. Create one .env file and write here port equal to 4000. Okay, port equal to 4000, and we will use this file here. So write require .env.config. Okay, and instead of this we will create one variable const port equal to process.env port. If in the env file port number is not present, then it will default use 4000 port number. Okay, and we will write here port. Okay, when server will started, server is running on port 4000. Okay, when we will run server, so this message will be printed in the terminal. Okay, so before running this, I will create one simple API. Okay, for creating the API, I have to write app.get. Okay, app.get slash help. Here will be pass one callback function with parameter request comma response. Write request comma response. Okay, in request comma response we will just return some response dot status 200, means okay status dot json. In the json format we will return some link, like we will return a status, like a status is okay. Okay, then we will return one message like server is healthy. Okay, we are just returning something, some basic, just a message. Okay, by hit this URL means we will check the system is running or not. Okay, means system is active or not, or our server is active or not. Okay, it is just a simple API. Okay, not a big thing. So now I want to run this server.js file, and we will check our server is running or not, or this API is working or not. Okay, so for running, open the terminal and clear it CLS. To run this project, okay, I'm in the inside folder of library manager APIs. Okay, I'm inside of this folder library manager APIs. and simply I will write here node server.js, node server.js. Okay. Now we can see server is running on port 4000. Okay, server is running on port 4000. Okay. Now to check APIs, we need Postman. Okay, open our Postman. In the Postman, we will run this API. Okay, we will check. Okay, okay. After opening the Postman, you can see this type of interface. Okay, in this interface, there is one plus icon, and we can see here create new collection. Okay, so simply click on this icon and create one blank collection. Okay, click on this icon plus and create one blank collection. Okay, that is a blank connection. Give the name to this blank collection, library manager APIs, library manager APIs. Okay, and add one request. Okay, our server is running on HTTP colon double slash local host colon 4000. That is a port number. Okay, then you have to hit just simply help. Okay, that is the get method. Okay, you have to select here get method and write this URL and simply hit. Okay, you can get this type of message in the JSON format like status okay and message server is healthy, means our server is perfectly running and working, our API is also perfectly running and working. Okay, means everything is fine and we can go ahead. Okay, so let's start ahead. Now I want to set up one middleware between client and server. Okay, so what is middleware? Okay, first of all, I will tell you what is middleware. Middleware means it is like present between the client and the server. Okay, it is present between client and server, and whenever any request will come from the server, it will first go to the middleware, and middleware will perform some operations, and then it will send signal to the server. Then server will execute their work. Okay, means in the simple format means middleware present between the client and server. When client send any request, first it will receive by middleware. Middleware perform operations, then it will send signal to the server. Then server will execute their process or their work. Okay, so we will create one middleware request logger middleware. Okay, request logger middleware. It is just a simple middleware, not a big thing. Okay, in this we have to pass three parameters: request, response, and next. Request, response, and next. Okay, here is arrow function arrow. In this we will print some message in the console.log. We will print request method, request URL. Okay, request method, request URL, and next a signal. Okay, we will print here as well date and time as well. Date and time. Okay, done. So we will remove this next here. We will simply run and we will check this middleware is working or not. Okay, use here app.use request logger middleware. Okay, and now run the server again. Okay, so whenever we do any changes in the server code, then we have to run the server again and again. So instead of this, just install npm install node mod. And in the development only I want to install, so here write -d. Okay, npm install -d node mod. Okay, you can see this package in package.json. Here they have dependencies node mod. Okay, So we install nodemon, and for running our project, just simply write nodemon server.js. So our server is running on port 4000. Okay, now we have to hit this your API. Okay, let's simply hit it. You can see we are not getting the response, means it is gone in the processing phase. Okay, what is the problem here? We can see here we hit get method slash health. This is the API URL, and this is the date and time. Okay, means we hit the API successfully, means middleware is executed, but API is not giving the response. Why? So answer is because we have not written here next. We have not written here next. What is next? Suppose there is one client and there is one server, and middleware is present between the client and server. Client is send some request to the server. First of all, request is received by the middleware. Middleware will process their operation, and suppose there are many middlewares. Okay, then how server will get that middleware work is completed? Okay, so middleware send here one signal to the server. That signal is with the help of next function. Okay, so with the help of next function, middleware is sending the signal to the server that my work is completed, now your work, now you have to complete your work. Okay, so if we not write next method, so server will not get the signal and server will wait. That server is thinking that middleware is currently executing and middleware is performing their operations, so I have to wait. Okay, so server is waiting until he will not get the signal from the middleware. So for giving the signal, we have to write next method. So here we have to write next method. Write next. Okay, so simply write next. Now we have given signal to the server. Now server will receive this, and server will execute their work. So now the scenario is like this. There is one client, there is one server, and there is one middleware present between the client and server. When client sends some request, first it will receive by the middleware. Middleware perform their operation and send one signal to the server. Then server will receive that signal and server will perform their operations. Okay. Now again start again, hit one more time, send. Now we will get our response, status okay and message server is healthy. Okay friends, so basic thing, I hope you understand what is middleware. One more time I will explain, like there is one client and there is one server. Okay, and middleware is present between the client and server. Whenever any request is sent from the client, first it will receive by the middleware. Middleware will perform operations, and after performing the operation, middleware will send one signal to the server. Server will receive that signal and perform their work. If server will not receive that signal, server will wait. Server is thinking that middleware is currently executing, middleware is performing their operations, so I have to wait until I will get the signal. So signal is important. So middleware send one signal to the server. Server will receive that signal, and then after he will do their work. Okay, that's all. So we are created one middleware as well. Okay, now let's move to the APIs. Okay, so to creating APIs, create one folder here, src folder, src. Okay, src folder. In src folder, create two folders like routes folder, and we required one more folder, controllers. Okay, create two folders, routes and controllers. Okay, routes and controllers. Okay, first of all, in the controllers, we will create one file, book controller dot js. Create one file, book controller.js. Here we will create all our functions which are required. Okay, so see how we will create const express equal to require express. Okay, then we will create here all our functions. Okay, const, we will create one function. Here we have to not write router. Here we will create simply functions like get all books. Okay, this is the function get all books with two parameters request comma response. I'm creating this function because this function will give the entire book result, means whatever book is present in our database or in our array or something else. That function will return all the books which are present in our system. Okay, so get all books is the function, and in the parameter we are passing two parameters request comma response. Okay, then in try catch we will write our code. Okay, so first of all, I simply create here one static data const books equal to one list. First of all, I am creating one simple array type data structure. Okay, in this data type structure, we will simply save our result like ID number one, then name of book, then name of book. Like I am creating C programming. Okay, then name of author like Aman Sukla. Okay, then published year PUBLISS published year like 2025 consider. Okay, and now take price as well as quantity 10. Okay, and one also take one more parameter as status, means it is available or not available. Okay, I think this is fine. ID name author published year price quantity status. Okay, okay, so we created one book list, and inside that book list I have one object book. Okay, with parameters like ID name author published year price quantity status. We will use this simply. Okay, whenever this function will call, it will just simply return response dot status 200, and in JSON format it will return entire book result. Okay, if some error will come, then we will send response dot status 500 something error dot message. Okay, so this is a basic format to create APIs. You you have to create one function with parameter request comma response. Then in the try catch, okay, what is try catch? We will perform error handling. We are performing here exception handling. Okay, with the help of try catch block. In the try block, we will write the code in which there is the chance of error or exception coming. Okay, if error will come or exception will come, then it will simply catch by the catch block, and catch block will handle that part scenario. Okay, when any type of error will come or any type of exception will come, then it will simply send one message with the status 500, and whatever message will come in the error, it will simply return error dot message. Okay, this is the basic format or standard format to create APIs. Okay, first of all, create one function with the two parameters request comma response, and in the try catch block, in the try block write your entire code whatever you want. And if error will come, so for handling the error or for handling the exception, we have to write code in the catch block. Okay, simply. So I have created one function here. Okay, now I will export module dot exports get all books. Okay, and simply I will write here code. Now go to the routes folder and create one file book router book router.js. Okay, and create here const express equal to require express, and object of router. We require controller here const book controller book. Instead of book controller, we will get all books from controllers. Okay, then write router, write this, and modular exports router. Okay, first of all write express library. We required express library. Then from the from inside the controllers folder, from book controller, we are fetching get all books function. And then we are creating the express.router object, one router object. And with the help of router object, we are using get method slash books and get all books. Instead of writing here slash books, write simply slash. Okay, when we will hit slash, then it will execute this function. Okay, and just we are in module exports equal to router, right, this line. Okay, in the server.js, what will we do? In the server.js, here write const book router equal to require routes.book router, means this line. Okay, so from the routes folder, from the book router file, we are using book router. Okay, and here we will write app.use slash API slash version v1 slash books. Then we will execute book router. Means to use this book router, you have to write first of all, you have to write http colon double slash localhost colon 4000, that is the port number. Then you have to write slash API slash v1 slash books. Then you have to write inside, then you will go to the book router file and you have to write slash. Then it will execute this function. Okay, so we just simply created one API. Let's test it. Okay, that is executing or not. So go to this, create one here folder, add folder, give name to this folder book router. Okay, add one request, and simply write here http colon double slash localhost colon 4000. Okay, and then write slash, then write here API slash v1 slash books. Okay, books, simply write books and hit this URL. Hit, we are getting in configured http colon double slash local host colon 4000 slash API slash v1 slash books. Okay, let's see server is running or not. Okay, server is running. For on there is error executed cannot find module. Okay, there is one error is coming, that is it is not getting the book router. So let's see what is the problem. Okay, that is present in src folder. Okay, src folder. Okay, I will see. देखिए, first we have to write dot, then slash, then go to this src, then write routes, then write book router. Okay, simply. Now see terminal. Everything is executing properly or not. Server is running on port 4000. Now it is perfect. Okay. Hit this URL again. You will get this message in the response. Okay, like ID1, name C programming, author Aman Sukla, published year 2025, price 500, quantity 10, and status is available. Okay, means our API is perfectly working. So we will move ahead and we will create another APIs as well. Okay, so go to the book controller and we will create other APIs as well. Okay, for now we are created just one simple API, that is the get all books API. Means it will return all the books when this function will execute. Okay, we suppose we need only a single book. Okay, we not want the entire book result or entire book in one response. We want just a single book based on ID. Okay, so for fetching one single book based on ID, we will create one more function like get book by ID. Get book by ID. Okay, and right here request comma response and arrow function. Okay, inside that write try catch. Okay, everywhere we will perform exception handling. Okay, so you would simply try catch. Okay, and we required one more thing, that is the ID. Okay, so we will so we have to write here const. First of all, based on id, we will find get book, one particular book, okay, based on id. So we have to write const book equal to books dot find function, and inside that find function, see, we will write here like book equal to matlab arrow, means arrow, right here book dot id, it will match with the request dot params dot id, means from the url we will fetch the id, and from the url for from the url uh, to fetch the id we will write simply request dot params dot id. Okay, with the help of this syntax or with the help of this code, we will fetch the id from the url, and we will when we call this api, we will simply pass that id in the url only. Okay, so syntax is like this: const book equal to books dot find, and this is the list of books. Okay, so from this list of books, one book will be come here, and we will check, we are checking that book id is equal to the request dot params dot id or not. If this book id is matching with the request dot params dot id, means this is the book which I want. Okay, then it will simply return that book to this object, and we are simply returning this book. Okay, so syntax is very simple or very easy. That's it is the list of books, and from this list of books we want just a single book based on id. So we are so with the help of find function, we will get book, one book by book, one by one. Okay, so we will get one book here, and we are matching that book id with the request dot params dot id. If id is matched, then it will simply return that book here, and we are just returning this book in the response. Okay, response dot status 200 dot json book. Okay, suppose if the id which are passing, means the id which I am sending, that id is not present. Okay, that id is not present, or I am sending the wrong id. Okay, in this case, what we will do, in this case we what we will do, we will simply check if book is not present. If book is not present, then we will return response dot status 404 book not found. Then we will return simply message book not found. Okay, in the catch block we will return uh, we will write response dot status 500 error dot message. Okay, now this api is created successfully. Okay, we will simply do here get book by id. Okay, okay, now controller part is completed. Now we have to link this function in the router. Okay, go to the router, and right here router dot get colon id, means we are passing id in the url only. Okay, and right here get all books, get all books now, get book by id. Okay, get book by id, right here get book by id, and we are already linked here this one. Okay, so we will simply call, so go to the our server, our postman, and simply do one more thing here, create one more request. Okay, and right here http colon double slash local host colon 4000 slash api slash v1 slash books slash id 1. Okay, so in the url only we are sending the id of book. Okay, select your method, get method only, and send. We will return this response. Okay, means id number 1, name C programming, author Aman Sukla, published year 2025, price 500, quantity 100, status available. Okay, suppose I am sending 10 id number 10 which are not present. So in this case what will happen? Send. We are getting book not found. Okay, book not found. Okay, so we successfully created two APIs. One API to get all books, and one API to get a particular book only based on ID. Okay, so we successfully created two APIs. Okay. Now we want to create a API to create a to add a new book. Okay. Suppose I want to enter a new book in the list. So for that purpose, we will create one more API. Okay. Create one more API like create book. Create book. Okay. With two parameter request comma response. Write try catch. Inside that try catch, we will write our code. Okay. For creating book, what data we need? We need name, author, published year, price, quantity, status. We will send this type of data. Okay. So we will send this type of data in the request body. Okay. Okay. In the request body, we will send this type of data. So simply we will fetch that data from the request body only: name, author, published year, price, quantity, status. Okay. From the request body, we are fetching all data from the request body only. We are fetching like name, data, author, published year, price, quantity, status. Okay. Then we will create simply, if we will write here validation as well. If name, author, published year, price, quantity, status, if anything is not present, then it will simply send all fields are required. All fields are required means all these fields are necessary fields, are required fields to create a new book entry. Okay. So we are just simply performing a validation that all required data or all required fields data are present or not in the response.body. Okay. If all data is present, if all required fields are present, then we will create a simply book record. Okay. First we will create one new object. Create one new object, new book. Okay. New book, past year like ID, name, author, published year, price, quantity, status. Or now ID will be like books dot length plus one. Means what now there is only one book in the list, so book length will be 1 plus 1 means ID will be 2. So here ID will be 2. Now we are also sending here name, author, published year, price, quantity, status. Okay. Now we successfully created one book object, and we will save that book object in the our list. Okay. Books dot post new book, and we will send status 201. 201 means created. Okay. 201 means created status. Okay. So in the simply send new book object, and send one more message here as well, like message book created successfully and data new book. Okay. And send here response dot status 500 error dot message. Okay. We simply created one more API. Okay. And simply send here create book. Okay. This API is completed, create book API, and now go to the book router and add one more route here, router dot post create book. Okay, router dot post create book. Okay, and in the server.js already we have linked here this router. Okay, go to the simple this, and first of all send hit this API first of all, and copy this JSON format. Okay, create one more request from here. Click on this plus icon, create one more new request right here. HTTP colon double slash localhost colon 4000 slash API slash v1 slash books. Okay. And select method here, post method. Okay. And select here body row, and just simply paste the JSON format which we copied. Okay. Give not required to send ID. ID will be created automatically, auto incremented. Name book name C++ programming, and author is like Sunil Sukla 2025. Price will be 600. Quantity 10, quantity 20, and available. Okay. Just simply send. We are getting this error request.body as it is undefined. we are getting undefined. Let's check what is the problem. First of all, check server is running or not. Okay, server is running. We simply say see this. We currently hit post API, and this is the URL, and this is the date and time. Okay, now go to this and check one more time. Everything is fine or not. Okay, post create book. Okay, create book. Go to the controller. Request dot response. Okay, from the request dot body, we are fetching name, author, published here. Simply do console.log here, request.body. Let's see one more time. Simply hit. Uh, First of all, check server is running or not. Server is running on port 4000 successfully. Okay. Now hit this API. Again, we are getting this error. Let's take the terminal. We are getting the undefined. Okay. So we are getting here undefined, and the reason is okay. We have missed one line. We have to write one line of code here. Okay. So what is the error? First, I will explain. Okay. So there is one client and there is one server, and the client is sending some data in the JSON format. So in the server want JSON type of data, but we are not ensuring that client is sending JSON type of data only. Okay. To ensure that the data which are coming from the client side, that data should be or must be in the JSON format only. For that purpose, we have to write here app.use express.json. We have to write this app.use express.json. It is the middleware which is present between the client and server, and it will ensure that the data which is coming from the client side must be in the JSON format. Okay. After writing this line code, again hit this URL. Okay, we simply get a response like message book created successfully, and in the data we are getting ID2, name, C++ programming, author, published year, price, quantity, status. Okay, means our this API is also perfectly working. Okay, I think there is one question in your mind that why we are using get here and why we are using post here. So first I will explain this part. Okay, there are many HTTP methods like get method, post method, put method, delete method. There are different type of HTTP methods for different purpose. Okay, so first I will explain what is the get and post. Okay, so suppose there is one registration form. Okay, and when you fill that registration form and submit, okay, the data you are sending from the registration form, if suppose there is get method, so the entire data will be visible in the URL. So means if you are sending the data with the help of get method, means that data is not secure, means get method is not secure to sending the data. Suppose there is one registration form and you are sending one data with the help of post method, the data will be not visible in the URL, so it will be secure. Means get method is not secure and post method is secure. And with the help of get method, you are not able to send a large amount of data, huge amount of data. Okay, in the simply we will search like difference between get and post method. Difference between get and post method. Okay, the primary difference is their intended purpose and how they handle data. The get method is used for retrieving data and append parameters to the URL, while the post method is used for submitting data to create or modify resources and send parameters in the request body. Okay, you can see here and read these things. Okay, but in the simple, okay, when we create when we want to create a new data or new entry in the database or in the list, okay, then at that time you have to use post method. Means post method is secure. Okay, when we want to retrieve the data, means you want to just read the data, then you have to use get. Okay, simple. When you want to create new entry, when you want to create new data, then you have to use post method. When you just to want to retrieve the data or just to want to read the data, then at that time you have to use get method. Okay, so there is get method, there is post method. Okay, We will use get method when we want to retrieve the data or we want to read the data. We will use post method when we want to create a new entry or to create a new data. Okay, so we will write here there is one more like get, post, put and delete purpose. Okay, we will simply see what is the purpose. Okay, so there are different type of http methods: get, post, put, delete. Okay, so get, what is the purpose? Retrieve a representation of the specified resource. It should not modify data. Okay, means when we want to read the data, then we will simply use get method. Okay, when we use post method, submit data to a specified resource, often creating a new resource or causing a change in state side effect on the server. When we want to create a new data or to enter a new data, then we will use post method. Okay, when we use put method, replace all current representation of the target resource with the provided payload. It is primarily used for updating an existing resource or creating if it does not exist. We will use put method when we want to modify the data of existing record. Means data is already present in the server, but I want to modify the data, so I will use put method. Okay, when we use delete method, remove the specified resource from the server. When we want to delete the data from the server, then we simply use delete. Okay, there are different http methods: get, post, put, delete. There are different purposes. Okay, when we want to retrieve the data or to read the data, we simply use get method. When we want to create a new entry or new data, then we will use post method. When we want to modify the data or update the data, then we simply use put method. When we want to delete the data, then we simply use delete method. Okay, simple. Okay, not a big task. It is very simple to understand http methods: get, post, put, delete. To read the data, simply use get method. To create the data, simply use post method. To modify the data, simply use put method. When to delete the data, simply use delete method. Simple. Okay, so for now we created three apis. Okay, now I want to update the data or modify the data. For that purpose, I want to create a new one. So I will create update book function. Okay, with parameter request comma response. There will be arrow function with try catch. Okay, try catch. And to update the data, okay, to we required id means which book data I want to modify it. Means we first of all there are many first of all in the list there are many books. So first of all I want to check which book I want to modify it. Okay, so we required id for that purpose to identify the data, to identify that particular book which I want to modify it. Okay, so based on id we will filter out. Okay, after filter outing, we required updated data as well to update the data. Okay, so first we will get all the data. Okay, first we will find the book which I want to modify. Okay, so right here const book equal to books dot find. Here we will write syntax like book arrow book.id. It should be match request.params.id. If book is not present, then we will simply return book not found. If book is present, then we will simply modify all the data. Okay, we will retrieve all the data from the request body. Okay, and if data is not present, all fields are required. And then simply we will modify all the data like book author, published year, price, quantity, status. Then we will simply return book updated successfully. Okay, one more time I will explain. First of all, based on id will be present in request.params.id. So first of all, based on id, I am finding out one particular book, that book which I want to modify. Okay, so this line of code will give me that book which I want to modify. Okay, book. If suppose the id which I given or the id which I provided, that id is not present or that id is wrong id. So we are checking if book is not present, means id is wrong. Okay, so we will simply return status 404. 404 means not found. Okay, and we are sending the message like book not found. Okay, and if this line will not execute, means id is correct and we are successfully fetched or we are successfully get our book. Okay, then we will retrieve all the data from the request body like name, author, published year, price, quantity, status. Then we will check data is present or not. If any field is missing or any field is not present, then we are simply sending error, that is all fields are required. Okay, then if everything is fine, then we are just simply updating the data. Okay, we are simply updating the book data with the data which are coming in the request body. Okay, then we are simply sending the message 200 status, means okay status, with message book updated successfully and updated book data. Okay, in the catch block we will simply send response dot status 500 internal server error dot message. Okay, now this function is also created successfully, so we have to write here update book. Okay, right here update book, then go to the book router and right here one more router dot to modify the data. Which method I should use? Put. You have to use put method while updating the data. Okay, slash id, in the single code slash id, pass here id update book. Okay, okay, this api is already this api is also created. Now we are going to check this API or hit this API. Okay, so simply first of all copy this block. Okay, first of all we will go to this and we will send. We are just getting one book data. Okay, first of all I will create one more book data. Go to this, hit this one. We are getting, okay, two. Okay, not present, means we are not using here a database for now. So data is not saving for the permanent basis, it is just saving in the temporary basis on the list array. Okay, so we have just one book, that is id with I of 1. So we will add one more book from here, that id will be 2. Okay, when we go to this, hit this url with get method, we will get two books. Okay, we are seeing it, we have two books and I want to update it. Okay, so click on plus icon and right here http colon double slash local host colon 4000 slash api slash v1 slash books. Okay, slash books, and we will select here put method, give id 2. I want to modify the data of 2. Okay, in the body, in the row, send this data. Okay, suppose I want to write here price 6000. Okay, I want to, and quantity will be 200. Okay, quantity will be 200. So click on this method, send, hit this, hit this, you will get this message book updated successfully. We will see here price 6000 and quantity 200. Again hit this get api. Here we will see price 6000 and quantity 200. Okay, means our update api is successfully working. Okay, now we are going to create one more api, delete api, means now I want to delete a book. I want to delete a new book or any book. Okay, for delete a book, create one more method, delete book. Okay, with two parameters, request comma response, request comma response. Okay, arrow, delete a book, right here try catch. Okay, inside a try catch we will write our code. For deleting a particular book we required id. Okay, based on id we will filter out which book I want to delete. First of all I will find that book. If book is available, then we will delete it. Okay, so for that we want id. So we will find book index to delete a particular book. We will find book index. To find a book index we require, we will books dot find index, we will execute this function find index. Okay, Here we will not execute find function. We can see here we are executing find function here as well. uh, Here as well we are using find function. Okay, here we are not using find function, here we are using find index function. As we know, in the list there is indexing. Okay, the indexing will start from 0. Okay, so here I want to find the index to delete a particular book. So we have to write books dot find index, or inside it write this type of syntax like books, this. So find index, so books is the list of book, means it is the list of book, and I am executing find index function on the list of book. We will get book by book, means one book. We will get one book here, and we are checking that book ID with the request.params.id. If the ID is matching, then it will simply return the index of that particular book. Okay, we are getting the book. If suppose book index is equal to -1, if index is -1, then book is not present. Okay, if index is -1, then book not found. If index is not -1, we will simply delete that book. We by using splice function. There is one splice function. uh, Splice function, what it is doing? Okay, when we hover it, we can see here. Okay, this type of thing. Splice, in the splice function there is start and delete count. Start and delete count means from where I want to start to delete, means from which index I want to start to delete, and how much I want to delete, means from this index I want to start to delete, and only one entry I want to delete. Means suppose index is 2. Suppose index is 2, so it will start to delete from the index number 2, and it will delete only one entry, means only index 2. It will not delete index 3, index 4, index 5, index 6. Okay, so it is the starting point and it is the data, means how much data I want to delete. Okay, so it is the starting index and it is the how much data I want to delete. Okay, so starting index, suppose any number like 1 2 3. Okay, that will be the book index, and only that book index I want to delete, means only one entry I want to delete. Okay, and after deleting, I am just sending a response 200. Okay, status with book deleted successfully. And in the catch block I will send error response dot status 500 internal server error dot message. Okay, so we successfully created one more API, means we successfully created one more function. We will now we have to link this function in the router. Okay, go to the router and write here router dot delete this. Okay, get method, post method, put method, delete method. Get method to retrieve the data, to read the data, post to create the data, to create new entry, put to modify the data, delete to delete the data. Okay, okay, now go to the again postman. Okay, one more time hit. We are just getting one book only. So for now we will create one new book as well. So hit this. So hit this one. One more book is added, ID number 2 book. Okay, go to this and hit. We are getting two books. Okay, ID number 1, ID number 2. So suppose I want to delete this one. Okay, so create one more here. http://local host colon 4000 slash API slash v1 slash books. Okay, and ID number 2. Select here delete method. Okay, and send. Book deleted successfully. Go to this, hit one more time. You will see only one entry. Okay, now our all these APIs are successfully created and implemented, and we also tested it successfully, and everything is fine and everything is working fine. Okay, so give the rename this one right here. Get all books. This is for get all books. Okay, rename this one. Get a specific book. rename this one create book, rename this one update book, rename this one delete book. Okay, and go to this, save the code. We have to press Control S. Okay, also here Control S, also here Control S, also here Control S, also here Control S. Okay, simply save it. You can see these two are get method, this is post method, this is put method, this is delete method. Okay, so congratulations, friends. We created for 5 APIs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We created 5 APIs successfully, and we tested it also, and everything is working fine. Okay, but for now the data is not saving anywhere, or but I want to save that data in some database. Okay, so now we will use MongoDB database to save the data. Okay, so now I am going to connect our backend or server code to the MongoDB database. So we will link our server and we will link our backend, so our data will be saved in the MongoDB database. Okay, or it will be permanent basis until we delete manually. Okay, so for using MongoDB database in your system, it is required that MongoDB Compass or MongoDB database is successfully installed. If MongoDB is not installed, please go to the browser and install. Go to the browser and write here MongoDB download. Okay, MongoDB download. Go to this MongoDB community server download and go to this download and simply download it and install it. Okay, after downloading and installing, you can see this MongoDB Compass. Simply open it. Okay, MongoDB Compass. Okay, this is our MongoDB database. We can you see this, connect on click. There are already many databases which are already created. Okay, but I will create here a new database. Okay, so to work with MongoDB, we required one library, Mongoose library. So we have to install that Mongoose library, npm install mongoose. Okay, so go to the browser, go to the terminal and press enter Control C, CLS, clear screen. Then install library npm install mongoose, mongoose, npm install mongoose. We required mongoose library to work with MongoDB database. Okay, so just simply type npm install mongoose and enter it, and it will install a mongoose library in your project. Okay, now mongoose library is installed successfully in our system, means in our this project. Okay, we can check our package.json file. We see here mongoose. Okay, so mongoose is successfully installed. So we will work with MongoDB database. So first of all, to work with MongoDB database, we want or we must to create models. Okay, so what are models? Models means it simply represent the tables which are created in the database. Okay, suppose I want to save book data. Okay, book related data. So we will create one model related to book. Okay, so simply, we will create two more models as well, like user model and issue book model. Okay. Suppose uh, I want to represent user data. So in this system, means in our system, library management API system, we have two types of users. One user will be the librarian and second user will be nor student. Okay, means librarian and student. Okay, so to represent their data, we have to create one model for that, that is the user model. Okay, then we have to represent book data. So to represent the book data, we have to create one more model, that is the book model. And then student will issue any book or return any book, so we will record that data as well. So we will record one more model, that is the issue book model. Okay, so we will create three models: user model, book model, issue book model. to represent the user data, to represent the librarian data or student data, we are going to create student user model. And to represent the book data, we are going to create book model. And that student will issue any book or return any book, so we have to represent that data as well. So we will create one more model, that is the issue book model. Okay, so simply create one more folder, that is the models folder. Okay, simply create one more folder, models folder. Okay, models. In the models folder, create one more file, user.js. Okay, simply create user.js file. And right here, const mongoose equal to require mongoose. Const mongoose equal to require mongoose means to create model we required mongoose library. So we just simply write const mongoose equal to require mongoose. Then we will create user schema. We will create user schema. So write const user schema equal to curly braces. Okay, inside that we will write all the fields which are required in this user schema. Like we required name, we required username, we required email, we required password, we required status, we required role. Okay, so we will create all these required fields. Okay, so create name field. The type of this field will be string, so write simply type string and require true. Require true means this field is compulsory field. Means without this field you don't create user data. Means we will not able to create user data without name field. Okay, so name field is the compulsory field, required field. Okay, then other field we will create username. We will require one more field, username. Here is colon. Okay, type of this field will be string. Type will be string. Type will be string true. And this field will be unique. Okay, means the username of each user will be unique. It should not be duplicate. Okay, then another field will be email field. Create one more field, email. Same type is string, require true, unique true. Okay, the email of two user should not match. Okay, so for each user email should be unique. Okay, after email we will create one more field, password field. Password. Okay, type will be string and require true, means password is also necessary field. Okay, then we will create role. Okay, type string, require true. And we have two types of roles. Enum, we will create enum. Enum in librarian, librarian. One role will be librarian and another role will be student. Okay, and default will be student. Okay, then we will create a status field. Status type will be string, require true. Enum will be active, inactive, and default will be active. Okay, then we will created at, means at what date and time this field is this entry is created. Okay, type will be date and default date dot now, means whenever I will create a new entry of user model, then it will simply save date, current date and time in this field. Okay, it will be automatic, means we not require this. Like we already mentioned, default date dot now means the current date and time will be saved here. Okay, in this field. So we created one user model, one user schema with fields like name, username, email, password, role, status created it. And username and email field is the unique field. And in the role field, we just have to enter librarian or student, not another else. Okay. In the status field, we can enter only two things, active or inactive. Okay, that's all. So user schema is ready. Now we have to create user model. To create model, we have to write use const user equal to new mongoose dot model. Inside it write user. This is the name of model user, and that is the schema. Okay, and simply export module.exports user. Means we can use this model in another file as well. Okay, so we have to import it, export it, module.exports equal to user. Okay, now user model is successfully created. Now we have to create book model. So create one more model, that is the book.js. Okay, now we are going to create book.js model. So right here, const mongoose equal to require mongoose. Okay, right here, const book schema equal to curly braces. We have to write field like name field. First of all, name field we required. Name will be type string required true. After that, name we want author, auth or author field. Author will be type string required true. Okay, type string required true. Then we need published year, publish published year field. That will be type number required true. Okay, then we need price field. Okay, price will be type number required true. Then we require quantity field. Quantity is also type number and required true. And then status is like available or not available. Okay, available, unavailable. Okay, and at the last we required one more field, created at. Okay, created at field. Huh. Now we successfully created book schema with fields like name, author, published year, price, quantity, status, and created it. Okay. So now create model const book equal to new mongoose dot model book. Okay. Now do model dot exports book. Okay. Now we successfully created one more model. It is the book model. Okay. We see here book schema. We successfully created book model with fields like name, author, published year, price, quantity, status, created it. Okay. Now we will create issue book model. Okay. For saving the data related to the issue book and return book. Okay. So create one more model, issue book.js. Right here, const mongoose equal to require mongoose. Right here, const issue book schema. In the issue book, we will save data like book id. First of all, we will say book id will be type mongoose.schema.types.object id. Means it will be the uh, id. Okay, type will be id and reference from book required true. Means the book id which we will save here, that should be present in the book model. Okay, means the id which I will save in book is issue book model, that id must be present in the book model. Okay, next we require book name. We will also say book name as well. Type will be string required true. Then we will save student id. Student id is also type mongoose.schema.types.object id. Reference from user model required true. Means the id which I will save in the student id, that id must be present in the user model. Okay, that id must be present in the user model. Student id done. Then we have to create one more field, student name. Type string required true. Okay, we created four fields: book id, book name, student id, student name. Okay, next we have to create issue date, return date. Okay, simply create issue date, return date, and status will be two status: issued, returned. Means book is issued or book is returned. Okay, default will be issued. Okay, done. Now we will create model. Okay, so write const issue book equal to mongoose dot model. That will be the model name. This is the issue book schema. Okay, simply create right here module dot exports issue book. Okay, we successfully created issue book model as well. Okay, so we have three models: book user model, book model, issue book model. Okay, to represent the data of librarian or student, we created user model. To represent or to represent the data of book, we created book model. And to represent the data of issue book, okay, we created issue book model. We have three models. Okay, now we have to set up our database. Okay, to set up database, create one more folder, config folder. In the config folder, create db.js file, db.js. Okay, right here mongoose mongoose equal to require mongoose. Then write const mongoose dot connect. In this pass URL, okay, mongoose, we don't write const here, just write mongoose dot connect. Okay, mongoose dot connect. We have to pass here connection string. Okay, from where we will get connection string? From the mongodb compass. So go to the mongodb compass, and here we will see three dots. We can see here three dots. Click on these three dots, and here is the option for copy connection string. Okay, so simply copy it. Copy connection string, simply copy it. After copying it, paste it here. This is the connection string, and give one database name here. So I'm giving one database name, that is the Let's Upgrade. That will be the database name, Let's Upgrade. Okay, so in the MongoDB compass or in the MongoDB, there, when I will run this code, so automatically one database will be created in the MongoDB compass, that is the Let's Upgrade. And inside that Let's Upgrade database, uh, automatically these three models will be created: user model, book model, issue book model. Okay, now write const db equal to mongoose dot connection, connection connection. Okay, on the db object we have two callback function, like db dot on connection. Okay, it will execute when database is successfully connected. So we will write a message here, connected to mongodb database. Yeah, we will write here as well, mongodb connected to mongodb successfully. We can write here successfully. Okay, connected to mongodb successfully. Here is one more, db dot on error, error or error. If error will come, then this will be execute error connected to mongodb. Okay, and simply export module dot exports db. Simply export it. Okay, we simply exported, so we will use this db in another files as well. Okay, so now we successfully created our models. We also successfully created our config and our controller. Now we have to work in our controllers file. Okay, so because why we have to work in our controllers file? Because we created here one list. Means currently we are saving our data in the list. Okay, means in the temporary storage. But now we have to replace this with our MongoDB. Okay, so first of all remove it. First of all remove it this. Okay, then you have to write here, we have to write here book model. We require here book model, const book equal to require models dot book. Okay, we require book model here, and we will replace all instances of list of books with this book. Okay, we have to replace list of all instances of list books with this book. Okay, so one by one we will do it. Okay, first of all, get all books. What get all books, there is two parameter, request comma response, and in the try block it is simply returning the books data from, but from where it will get the book data? So right here const books equal to book.find. So book.find means find function will return all the data which is saved in the MongoDB in the book model. Okay, so it will return all the data, and we are just simply sending this data to the in the response. Okay, now next API, get book by ID. Get book by ID is also getting two parameters, request comma response and books.find. Okay, instead of this we will write const book equal to await. Okay, book dot find by id, book dot find by id function. Inside that id function write request dot params dot id. Okay, request dot params dot id. Okay, and write here async. Okay, because each model means MongoDB database model. Okay, every model will return, means every function of model, it will return promise. So to handle promise we have to write async await. Okay, so write here await and write here async. Okay, here also it will return promise, so write here await and write here async. Okay, write here first of all, let's see. Okay, we are saving the data here. Okay, so instead of doing this, create book dot await dot create. Okay, but we will simply create one model. Okay, with this code, const book equal to new book. Okay, we are creating one model. Okay, and just simply save it. Okay, and in the response we will send it book created successfully, no issue. Okay, so we have to write this line of code instead of that old code. Okay, write this code here. Okay, done. Now update book. In update book, to find a particular book, we will do like code this like const book equal to await book dot find by id and update. Find by id and update. This is the function. In this function we have to pass id and as well as our updated data. So first of all, this function what do, it will first based on id it will find out the book which I want to modify it. Okay, after finding the particular book based on data which are provided, it is simply modified that particular book data. Okay, so we have to pass here two parameters. First of all, request dot params dot id, that will be the id, request dot params dot id. Okay, then we have to pass that data. The data will be in the data is present in request body. Okay, request body, and simply write here new true, means it will return that object after modifying the particular book data. Okay, means first of all what this function do, it will find out one particular book based on id. If id is successfully matched, and then we will get our book, and based on this data the old data will be modified. And with the help of this parameter, means we are mentioning here that we want updated data after modifying it. If we not write this line of code, then it will return the old book data. Okay, but we not want old book data, so we require new book data. So we have to simply write curly braces new true. Okay, here is error is coming, so we have to write here async. Right here async. Okay. So we simply get book. If book is not present, book not found, then we not required this. Okay, it will simply do all the things. We not required this. We just required this thing, means This function will automatically find the book data as well as modify the book data. It will simply return updated book data. If book data is not present, means ID is wrong or something is wrong in the ID. Okay, so we will simply return book not found, and it will give message book updated successfully, and in the catch block error will send. Okay, now delete book. In the delete book, instead of this, we will write const book equal to await book dot find by ID and update function. Find by ID and update me. Find by ID and delete function. Find by and delete request.params.id. So based on ID, it will find out that particular book and delete that particular book. Okay, from the database or from the table. Okay, we have to write here async. Okay, book model is successfully created. Okay, we have to write here like if book is not present. If book is not present, then simply send book not found. Okay, if book is present, then delete that book data. Book deleted successfully. We require that much code only to delete a particular book from the MongoDB. Okay, and now all things are done. Just I will go through again. We written here book dot find function, means it will retrieve all book data. We write here book dot find by ID. Based on ID, it will find a particular book and it will return that book only. We created one book model here, book model object. Then we simply save it in the MongoDB database. We here used find by ID and update function. It will find out that particular book based on ID and then update it. Here we are using find by ID and delete function. Mean based on ID, it will simply find out that particular book and delete that particular book. Okay, just means done. In the server, we have to just write here const db equal to require db. Okay, const db equal to require db. Okay, so when this server.js file will run, it will automatically create one database, and database name will be let's upgrade. And inside that let's upgrade database, there should be models like book, user, issue book. Okay, it will all be done automatically. We not do this thing manually in the MongoDB Compass. It will done automatically. Okay, so let's go to the let's here MongoDB Compass. Here there is no database related to let's upgrade. See all the database. Okay, there is no any database related to let's upgrade. Okay, now see the server. Now we are going to run the server. When we run our server, then that database will be automatically created in the MongoDB Compass. Okay, let's do it. First of all, write node mon server.js. Node mon server.js. Run it. Server is running on port 4000 and database is not executed. Let's see what is the problem. Connection. I think here is connected. Okay, connected. Right, connected. Okay. Still, it is not working. Okay. Okay, so database is not connected. Okay, we are not getting here message MongoDB is connected successfully. Okay, first of all, go to this file db.js and we see here spelling is wrong written. Okay, we have to write here correct spelling connected, CONNECTED, connected. Okay, connected spelling must be correct. Okay, now again check our server connected to MongoDB successfully. Check MongoDB Compass, and here we will see there is one table. Let's upgrade. There is one database. Let's upgrade. Open it. There is only book. Okay, so in book there is no any data. Okay, so other models are not created. Let's see book schema, issue book schema, user schema. Okay, there are three schemas. Okay, okay, we will check later. Okay, but for now it is, we are able to see here MongoDB to connected to MongoDB successfully. And here we will see let's upgrade, there is one. Okay, here is also books model. Okay, simply. So first of all, we what we will do, first of all we will check all the APIs which we implemented. Okay, so go to the Postman, and one by one we will hit all the APIs again. First of all, there is no any data present in our book. Okay, so first of all we will execute create book. Okay, and in create book we will write same thing, C++ programming, this all things will be same. Send it. Books is not defined, I think there is one error. Okay, let's check book router. Let's say book router means book controller. I think while creating books, there is one error. Let's see what is error present. Request dot body. This all things required. Okay, not required this thing. Okay, just keep name, author, published year, price, quantity, status. That's all. Okay. Okay. Now again go to the this. Everything is fine. Let's hit again. Book created successfully. Okay, create one more book, that is C programming, with the price 100 and the quantity 10. Okay, hit. So C programming also created successfully. Okay, now go to this get all books, hit. We are getting all records. We can see C++ programming, here C programming. Okay, copy one ID, C programming ID. Okay, we are copying this object ID. Okay, go to this get a specific book, simply paste here book ID, simply paste here book ID and hit. You will get this one, C programming. Okay, now we I want to update this data, so copy this data, go to update book. Okay, simply write this data here, copy this ID and pass ID here. Okay, and remove this ID from this JSON data as well as this one. Simply do 1000 here and quantity 100. Okay, C programming price will be 1000 and quantity will be 100. Okay, just hit. Book updated successfully. We see here price 1000 and quantity 100. Get all books, hit. C programming price 1000 quantity 100. Get a specific book, hit. C programming price 1000 quantity 100. Okay, now I want to delete this book, so copy this ID, copy this C programming object ID, go to this delete book, simply remove these two and write this ID and hit. Okay, book deleted successfully. Go to again get a specific book, hit again. We will see book not found. Okay, again we will create this book. Okay, C programming object. Okay, just simply hit C programming created. Go to this get all books. You will get all data C programming, C++ programming. Okay, done. Means all APIs are perfectly working. And we will also check our MongoDB database. Go to this MongoDB database. Okay, refresh it. We are seeing there two data is present, C programming data, C++ programming, means there are two books in our MongoDB. Okay, now we will create another APIs as well. So means we will create two more APIs, one for issue book and one for return book. Okay, so let's start. So create one more controller here, issue book controller, issue book controller.js. Okay, right here const express equal to require express. Okay, we need here const issue book mod. We required user model as well. We required user model here. We required book model as well as we required issue book model. We required all three models here. Okay, now we will create functions like issue book function. Okay, with parameter request comma response. arrow, try catch. Function name will be small I issue book. Okay, so for issue the book, we require data like we required book ID, book name, student ID, student name, issue date, return date, status. Okay, so we will fetch all data here in issue book router. Okay, right here const we will require book ID, book name, student ID, student name. Okay, then issue date, return date, and status. Okay, status will be pending by default, so no issue, we not required a status here. Status will be automatically issued, right? We mention here in issue book model that status will be automatically issued, default issued. Okay, so go to this issue book controller. Okay, now for issue book, what we have to do, first of all, we have to check this book ID is present in the book model or not. Okay, suppose I entered wrong ID, wrong book ID, then so first of all we have to check this book ID is present in the model or not. So to check, we will do this type of code like const book equal to await book dot find by ID book ID. Okay, simply write here async. Okay, we will write here if book is not present, then we will simply if book is not present, then we will simply send a book not found. Okay, if book is not present, if ID is wrong, then we will simply send in the response book not found. Okay, then we will check student ID, means student ID, which the student ID which I am giving here, that student ID is it is present in the user model or not. Okay, so we will check student. If student ID is not present, then we will simply say student not found. Okay, so first of all we have to perform validations like book on book ID and student ID. Okay, book ID should be present in the book model and student ID should be present in the user model. Okay, if both the data is present, means book ID is also present and student ID is also present, then we will check that book which I want to issue, that book is available or not. Means that quantity should be greater than 1. If quantity is less than 1, means that book is not present, means book it is not available currently. So we will check if book dot quantity is agar book dot quantity is less than 1, means book is not available. Okay, book is not available currently. Okay, if book quantity is greater than 1, means book is available, so there is no problem to issue the book, so we will simply issue the book. Okay, we will simply create issue book, new issue book, new issue book. Okay, we will pass here book ID, book name, student ID, student name, issue date, return date, status. Okay, not to send a status, its status will be by default. Okay, issued. Okay, then we have to save this data in issue book, save it. After issue the book, we have to decrease the quantity of book by 1. Okay, we have to decrease the quantity of book by 1. Okay, so we will write book dot quantity equal to book dot quantity minus 1, and we will say book data as well. Then we will send in the response book issued successfully and issue book data. Okay, so this is the code of issue book. First of all, we are retrieving all the data from the response.body. Okay, like book ID, book name, student ID, student name, issue date, return date. Then we are checking that book ID is present in the book model or not. Then we are checking that student ID is present in the student model or user model or not. If both the data is present, means both book is also present and student is also present. So we will check that book quantity is greater than 1 or not. If book quantity is less than 1, means book is not available. If book quantity is greater than 1, means book is available. So there is no issue to return to issue the book. Okay, so we will create simply one object of issue book, and we will simply save the data in the MongoDB database, and we will decrease the quantity of book by 1. Okay, and we will also save that book data as well. then we will send in the response book issued successfully, and in catch we will send error response dot status 500 error dot message. Okay, now we successfully created our issue book function. Okay, so we will create one router as well, issue book router. Create one issue book router, issue book router.js. Inside that write const express equal to require express. We need issue book we need issue book function. Then we will create a router object. Then we will simply do router dot post and model dot exports equal to router. So first we required express library. Then we required from the controller issue book controller we required issue book function. Then we simply created a router object. Then we simply link that issue book function to this URL, means slash URL, and simply do model exports equal to router, means we will use this router in another file as well. Okay, okay, our issue book router is successfully created. We have to link this in server.js. So right here const issue book router this. Okay, db. Okay, so do one more thing here, const user. Okay, const user. Okay, so here write app.use issues, means issue books. Okay, issue books. In the issue books we are executing, means to execute this router we have to write api slash v1 slash issue books. Then we will go to this issue book router, and inside this issue book router we have this controller, and we can see issue book, and this function will execute. Okay, from this router we will simply say slash, means slash issue book function will execute, and in this issue book function we return all the required lines of code which are required to issue the book. Okay, there is one line missing, module.exports equal to issue book. Okay, now we are successfully completed. Now we have to check this. First of all, check the terminal, means everything is fine or not. MongoDB to connected successfully. Check our this thing also. One more, refresh it. There are three models we can see in the Let's Upgrade. There are three models: books model, users model, books model, issue books model. In the books model there are two entries present. In the issue books it is currently empty, and users model it is also currently empty. So our data is present only in issue book. So okay, so first of all I will create manually, means for now I will create manually two users. Okay, so go to this user section, go to this add section, insert document, and simply remove all the things and open curly braces. Okay, right here name, give one name like Suraj Sani. Then give username Suraj Sani. Then give email Suraj Sani @gmail.com. Name, username, email. Then we require password, give password here Suraj Sani. Okay, insert. So we inserted one data. We required here one more data, that is the role field. Okay, so we want to add one more field. So delete this field. Uh, Insert one more time. Okay, insert name Suraj Sani. Then name, username, Username will be small user Surasani, then email surasani@gmail.com, name, username, email, then password. Surasani, name, username, email, password. Okay. Then write role here, librarian. It will be he will be librarian. Okay. Insert librarian done. Okay. Insert one more data for student. Okay. Simply copy this data, add data, insert document right here. This. Okay. Remove this ID. Rename the name Amit Sani. Here also write Amit Sani. Here also write amitsani@gmail.com. Then here write Amit Sani. Then role will be student. Student. Okay, insert. So we successfully created two users in our system. Okay. Okay. One will be Surasani, that role will be librarian, and another user will be Amit Sani, and the role will be student. Okay. So we have two books and we have two users. Means so we are now ready to check our all APIs related to books as well as related to issue books. So go to the postman, and first of all I will hit get all books API. Okay, simply hit get all books API. So we have two books, C++ programming, C programming. Okay, simply save it. Okay, then go to this get specific book. First of all copy this C programming book ID. Okay, go to get a specific book, paste here ID. Okay, and hit we are getting C programming book data. Okay, uh, we are not going to create one more book, create Java programming book, and author will be Krishna. Okay, author will be Krishna. Okay, create. So we created one more book. Okay, uh, so uh, we will modify this data as well. So copy C programming data, C programming ID, copy C programming ID. Okay, go to update book and paste this ID here, and modify the data. Price will be like 500, and quantity is 50. Okay, quantity is 50. Update. Book updated successfully. Okay, we are not going to delete any book data. Okay, that's all. So the APIs related to books, it is successfully working. It is working fine. Okay, now we have to test issue book and return book APIs. Okay, so let's check the issue book APIs and return book APIs. Okay, to check issue book APIs and return book APIs, we create one more folder. Create here one more folder, add folder. Okay, and in this folder add request. First of all give name to this folder. Rename issue book. Issue book router. Okay, issue book router. Hmm. Rename this one issue book. We are issuing the book. Okay, issue book. I think here rename issue book. Okay, okay, done. Right here http colon double slash localhost colon 4000 slash API slash v1 slash books, not required books. Go to the server.js file. In the server.js file we have to write this, right, is for issue books. Copy this, go to the postman, write this entire thing here, remove this one and write paste it. Okay, issue books. Okay, and this will be post. Select your post method. Okay, and in the data in the row we have to send the JSON data which are required for issuing the book. we have to send first of all book ID. So we will write here book ID. We have to write here book ID. So suppose there is book. Uh, there is suppose C++ programming book. Okay, I want to issue this book. Okay, so copy this ID book ID. Okay, and go to the postman. Paste this ID here. Okay, we enter book ID. Then write book name. Book name C++ programming. C++ programming. Okay, we then write student ID. We have to send student ID as well. Uh, Student ID. Go to the MongoDB Compass. Go to the user section. There are two users. One will be librarian and uh, one will be student. Okay. So copy this ID. We are not doing here authorization and authentication. Okay. Okay, for right now we are not doing here authorization and authentication. Means uh, anyone can use any APIs. Okay, there is no issue for now. Okay, go to this, paste student ID here, then write here student name. What is a student name? Student name is Amit Sani. Write here name Amit Sani. Book ID, book name, student ID, student name. Then we want issue date, right? Go to the model. You can check this field in model as well. Issue date. Okay, issue date. Issue date like 2025, month 11, and day is 25. Then we have to send return date. Return date. We have to send return date right here. Return date like 2025 11 30. 30 is the return date. Okay, now we will simply hit this button, send. Book issued successfully. We are seeing book ID. We can see book ID, book name, student ID, student name, issue date, return date, status, issued. Okay, go to this issue book. Here we can see all the data: book ID, book name, student ID, student name, issue date, return date, and status. Status is issued. Okay, so now create one more here. Now we will return book. Okay, rename this one return book. Write URL, copy this URL from here only. Copy this URL and simply paste it here. Okay, I first of all check our controller, issue book controller. We not created return book API. Okay, first of all we have to create return book API. So go create return book API. Return book request comma response try catch. Try catch. Okay, so for returning book, what we have to do? We have to do just simply change the status of issue book. Okay, means for returning the book, we have to just for this issue book ID, we have to just change the status to returned. Means that book is successfully returned. Okay, so what we will do? We will change the status. Okay, first we have to find that particular issue book. Okay, const issue issue book data. Okay, we will get that issue book data from await issue book dot find by id request dot params dot id. First, we will fetch that issue book data from the MongoDB database with the help of ID based on ID. If suppose that issue book data is not present, then we will simply say issue book not found. Okay, issue book not found. If suppose I already written this book, means I already written, and I am again hitting this API again with the for the same issue book ID, means I already written this book, okay, and I'm going to again hit the same API with this ID again. At the time I have to check that status is what, means if a status is written, then I have to say that book is already written. Okay, so here what we have to do, we have to check if issue book data status equal to written, means book is already written. Okay, if book is already not written, then we have to change the status and save it. Okay, we have to change the status and save it. Okay, and then send the message book written successfully and issue book data. Okay, if any type of error will come, then we will send response dot status 500 error dot message. Okay, we will simply send this. Okay, let's go through this one more time. First of all, based on ID, we will find out issue book data. If issue book data is not present, means we have given wrong ID or incorrect ID, then we simply send this response issue book not found. If issue book status is already written, then we will simply send book is already written. If otherwise, we will change the status. We will change the issue book data status to written. Then we will simply save the data and we will send in the response book written successfully. Okay, we will write here written book. Okay, and in the issue book router, we have to write one more thing: written book router dot. Actually, it is put simply send ID written book. Okay, okay. Now we will hit this API. Okay, in this we have to send written books. Okay, we have to send ID. We have to send ID here. Okay, so we need issue book ID. We not created any API that will return all issue books. Okay, so we will just simply copy this one from here. We will simply copy this ID from here, issue book ID, and we will simply paste it here. Update the method to put. Okay, now method is put. So just simply hit that. We can see book written successfully, and that is the uh, issue book ID, book name, issue student ID, student name, issue date, return date, returned. Okay, we can see data from here also. Status is returned, but there is one more problem. Means go to the book section. In the C programming, we have which book we have issued. First of all, we have to check. We have issued C++ programming book, right? We have issued C++ programming book. So now the quantity of C++ programming book is 19. So when the book is written, then we have to increase that book data as well. Okay. So in go to the issue book controller, and here we have to find that book with the help of issue book data dot book ID, and we have to increase the quantity of that particular book. Then we have to save that book data as well. Okay, then only it will increase the quantity of book when it will return. So simple logic: when someone issue the book, the particular book quantity will decrease by one. If someone return the book, then that particular book quantity will increase by one. Okay, decrease or increase by one. Simple logic. Okay, so for now I am going to delete this data from here manually. Okay, I will delete this data manually. I deleted this data, and here I will increase that quantity manually. I will write here 20 and update. Okay, now again I will hit the API, issue book API. I am again going to issue book this. Okay, I am again going to issue this book. Okay, so I will simply send Okay, we in the message we are retrieving book issued successfully. Go to the MongoDB database, books, simply refresh it. For now, the quantity is 20. Refresh. Quantity is 19. Go to the issue book, refresh. Data is present. Status is issued. Now I am going to hit return book API. Okay, return book. Okay, we have to copy this issue book ID. Copy this issue book ID and here paste this issue book id, paste this issue book id and simply send. Book returned successfully. Go to this, check, refresh, status is returned. Go to this book, refresh, quantity is 20. Now return book API successfully created. So we implemented all APIs related to books, like to get all books, to retrieve one particular book, to create book, to update book, to delete book. As well as we created two more APIs for issue book and return book. Okay, and we tested all these APIs. Okay, and all these APIs is working fine and working perfectly. Okay, so for now, we have created most of the APIs. Okay. So first of all, let's revise all the things which we have done till now. Okay. First of all, we have created one folder that is the library manager APIs. Inside that folder, we have executed some commands like npm init-y. With the help of any npm init-y, package.json file created. Then we executed npm install command. Then with the help of this command, package log.json file created. Then we executed npm install express command. Then it will create a node modules folder. Then we have understand what is package.json file, then package log.json file and node modules folder. Okay, then we created server.js file and we created simple API here, that is the health slash API. Okay, and we have simply run it our server and with the help of postman we tested this API slash health API. Okay, then we created book router. Okay, we created book controller and book router. In book controller we created all APIs related to books, like to get all books data, to retrieve a specific book data based on ID, to create new book data, to update book data, to delete book data. But first of all, we created all these APIs based on static data, means based on list books, right? Yeah, you have to remember we have created one temporary storage that is the list of books. Okay, then we simply linked all this controller in the book router. Then we linked this router in our server.js file and we tested all these APIs. Then we have switched from the static data or in-memory block data, that is the list of books data, to the MongoDB. Okay, means from temporary storage to MongoDB. Okay, so to work with MongoDB, we have installed npm install mongoose. Okay, then we created models. Okay, we created models to represent our data. That is that I want to represent my librarian data or student data. Then for that purpose, I created user model. I want to represent book data, so for that purpose, I created book model. I want to represent issue book data, so that purpose I created issue book model. Okay, we created all these three models. Then we set up our db.js. Okay, we successfully set up our connection with the MongoDB database. Okay, then we run it this db.js file and we check it that it is automatically created this database let's upgrade in the MongoDB compass. Okay, and all these models is also automatically created in our MongoDB compass. Okay, we not required to manually create this thing. We have to just write this code and database will created automatically and all these models will be created automatically in the MongoDB compass. Okay, then we switched from the in-memory block data, means a list of books, to the MongoDB. Okay, so we changed all our APIs to use MongoDB, and as well as we created two more APIs, issue book and return book, and we tested all these APIs in the Postman. Okay, or we checked all these APIs, and right now all these APIs are successfully working and perfectly working with no error. Okay, friends. So I have so you have understand all these things, how to create APIs with the help of Node.js, Express.js, and how to work with static data and how to work with MongoDB data. Okay, and we perform CRUD operations related to books, right? We created data, we updated data, we modified data, we deleted data, we retrieved data. Okay, so in this video, we understand how to create APIs, how to create standard APIs with the help of Node.js and Express.js. Okay, in Node.js and Express.js, first of all, we work with static data. Then we switch it from the MongoDB data. Means we understand both these two things. Means how to work with static data and how to work with MongoDB Compass. Means MongoDB. Okay, friends. So in this video, this is okay for now, and the remaining things like authentication, authorization, and so many things, and deployment as well, we will see in the next video. Okay, friends. I hope you understand all these things which I covered in this video, and we will cover all the remaining things in the next video. For now, practice all the codes and understand all the things. We will meet soon in the next video to move ahead with the other APIs and with the authentication part, authorization part, and the deployment part. Okay, friends. For now, bye.